Hi guys, the video today is on one of the new premium tanks that they released for Black Friday weekend. These premium tanks have a 75% silver bonus, which is pretty significant. Jocko gifted me the one that I'm going to be reviewing. It's the only one of them I own, and it is the T-34-100 Ragnarok. This is a Czechoslovakian medium tank. Its men play up to tier 10s. There's a special matchmaking event on at the moment, so it's only playing tier 9s and tier 8s. And you know, the tiers below it, but it doesn't have to face tier 10 at the moment. That's something to bear in mind when I'm doing this review. You're not going to see it having to shoot at tier 10s. I've never used a Czech tank before, so I don't have any crew skills whatsoever, no 6% or anything. So I've slapped a crew trainer logo on the side of the tank, and this was my very first game in it. Pros and negatives of the tank. Do the negatives first, like I normally do. It's got a Soviet T-34 medium tank hull, so that's a tier 5 hull. However, you do get more hit points, but you're not going to block any shots. It's made of paper. Other than that, the penetration's not great. 205mm for the standard armor-piercing shell, and 240mm for the premium APCR shell. That means against tier 10s on city maps, expect this thing to struggle a little bit. If you're on an open map, then you can flank, and then the penetration is not so bad. But it is worth bearing in mind that you might have to use a fair amount of premium, and then that's going to offset your 75% silver bonus a little bit. To the point where I've been using ×2 silver boost with premium account with this tank, and it's been earning a fair amount of silver. Between 250 to 300k, but I can earn the same amount in an atomic or a Bellerophon with a ×2 silver boost, because they're having to fire less premium, so it evens out in some ways, to be fair. Onto the positives. The tank is pretty quick, tops out at 55, cruises up hills are at about 30, 380 meters view range, which is really quite good for the for you know, a Russian kind of style tank. 380 it's good for tier 8. Not too bad. You get -8 degrees of gun depression, which means that on open maps you can use it as a ridge fighter, and it's also got an auto loader, as you might have just seen them. You get 3 shots per clip. It takes less than 2 seconds to fire each shell in the clip. I can't remember the exact amount, I'll have a look after. But you can dump the clip pretty quick. Got an overall reload of 30 seconds, I believe, stock, with, you know, nothing helping it out. And each shell is going to do an average 320 damage, which means, yeah, you're looking at 960 for your full clip if you just get your average roll, which is pretty fearsome for a medium tank at this tier, to be fair. That's not bad at all. Due to the speed and things like that, it means this is one of those tanks that should be played carefully early on, and then late game you're an assassin who's going to go around, find isolated stragglers on their own and send them back to the garage. It's also great for, well, just tearing apart tanks that are out in the open, as we're about to find out. This poor T-25AT is exposed. This is not a good idea when one of these tanks is around. And that tank is now back in the garage. Now you can see the reticule then aiming in between the shots. It aims in pretty quick between each shot in the clip, but you do want to let it aim in, otherwise you're going to risk missing, and you don't really want to miss any of your shots, because the 30-second clip reload, it's not as bad as some auto loaders I've played, but it's still quite a hefty time, so you really do want to make your shots count. You also don't want to do what I just did then. The Hydra IS-6 was looking at me, and I got eager for damage. Thought I'd try popping up to see if I could put a shell through its hatches, and I ate a shell. In a tank like this, cannot be the focus of attention. You want to go after tanks that are alone and use cover, like ridges and stuff, or you want to go after tanks that are distracted, which is what I'm about to do here. I noticed there's a KV-5 all on its own. It's not going to be paying attention to me. This is the perfect kind of prey. Unfortunately, someone else manages to fire their shot just before mine, and they get the kill. But like I say, that's the kind of thing you have to do on this tank. You have to pick in on people, basically, who are too occupied to shoot you. If you're on an urban map, the same thing goes. Don't go charging headlong. You cannot lead the charge in this. You do not want to be in the centre of attention. On an urban map, you stick with a heavy tank, wait for the red team to fire at said heavy tank, and then you dump your clip into that red tank and then bugger off while you reload. Now here, I was going for the mutant, the bog horror, but artillery decided that it wants to die. So I'm happy to oblige, and I'm going to go for the artillery instead. Here we can see the mobility. It's not bad. You can relocate around the map really quite easily in this tank. It also means that if you're in a position that's starting to fall, if your tanks aren't doing so well, you know, it's fast enough to get the hell out of there. There's no point fighting on a flank that you're about to lose. You know, if there's like 4 red tanks coming down it that are full health and you've got yourself and 2 green tanks who are half health, bail. It might seem like a crappy thing to do, but because you've got a 30-second reload, you can't get into actual duels with other tanks in this thing. I got in a bad situation the other day against a Pershing, and it tore me apart in a one-on-one. It rammed me at one point, took most of my health, and because of my reload I was able to dump a clip into it, and then, you know, it just put shot after shot into me. So don't play the hero in this tank. It's not that kind of tank. I got the artillery there. The first 2 shells did miss. The accuracy on this tank's 0.38, so it doesn't do so well at sniping. It's more of a mid-range kind of tank. If you have to hang him back a little bit, you know, for the first half of the battle, yeah, you want to stay kind of mid-range. The gun, it's not as bad as it sounds, to be fair. 0.38 I don't consider as being great, and sometimes I'll miss clips, or, you know, only 2 shells will go in, but it's not too bad really. You can see there, 276k. That's not a bad silver at all, but I did have a ×2 silver boost on. However, I was slinging a few premium shells in that game because I didn't have a crew, and I didn't want to risk missing any damage, basically. The loaded dice event means you get exactly the penetration that your average roll is, which in this is 205mm, and I was well aware those IS-6s, and I thought the KV-5 and stuff might be the first targets I'd come across, so I loaded really for them. Using premium ammo, obviously it does hurt your silver bonus, silver earnings even, especially if you're missing multiple shots. You're gonna earn more money with this, you know, firing AP and hitting with those. But load into the lobby, have a look at it. If half the team have got heavy armor, then it's not a bad idea to just load up your premium. As you can see, I've got a healthy amount of premium shells as well as AP shells. I've got slightly more AP than I do premium. There's the gun stats, and like I said, the view range is good, but the penetration, yeah, is a bit lackluster. So far, I've found this tank to be ridiculously powerful. However, I've not had to play it against tier 10s, and I do worry that that penetration might hurt it quite badly in tier 10 games. See there, -8 degrees on the gun, which is very handy, and there's your armour. And quotation marks, because you've got sod all, you know, don't get hit. Overall though, this is a very, very powerful tank. I've been having daft amounts of damage in the games I've been playing with it, but like I say, it's technically got preferential at the moment due to the matchmaking event. Against tier 10s it might struggle a bit, but most tier 8 medium tanks struggle against tier 10, so I wouldn't let that be a negative against getting it. If you can afford this, I'd say probably pick it up. It's a good tank. Thanks for watching the video guys, I appreciate it.